Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana has injected an additional 32.6 billion rand to the National Student Financial Aid Scheme this year. The fiscus has been under pressure, but Godongwana told Parliament on Wednesday that higher education was one of government's main priorities. For reaction on this, we're joined by the South African Union of Students spokesperson, Asive Dlanjwa. Thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. So in 2017, government announcing a policy for free higher education, and this latest injection by the finance minister. Enough to satisfy you?
Thank you very much, Studio. I think we definitely welcome any injection towards funding of higher education. We're probably not satisfied because it's probably not enough if we look at the funding challenges that we're facing in the sector, but it would be mischievous, obviously, not to welcome any injection from government. So we do welcome the 32.6 billion rand injection from government.
It would seem that the finance minister anticipated that and then announced that any further shortfalls will be funded from within the baseline of the Department of Higher Education.
Yes, I think it's exactly why we welcome it with the reservations, because the understanding and the appreciation is that the money is not enough, and hence the alluding to the fact that that would have to be set off by the Department of Higher Education in the event, when there is a shortfall. So yeah, I think maybe the challenges, or what we think where the shortfall will come, we know even beginning of this year there was a 9.6 billion rand shortfall that led to about a 3-week delay of the academic year. But also with the big challenging issues of funding that we're still facing in the sector. Number one is still the issue of postgraduate funding. There has been a huge chunk of money that has been cut from postgraduate funding because the 32.6 billion rand, it clearly states in the budget speech, it's towards the National Financial Aid Scheme. So that's for NSFAS. So that is strictly for undergraduate qualifications, and it has nothing to do with postgraduate qualifications. And we have long been calling on the government to say we need to increase. In fact, government had cut funding from the NRF, which funds postgraduate studies, by an odd 30 billion rand. So we need that funding there to be able to, one, grow research and also to drive innovation, which we believe will go a long way in terms of boosting the economy. But also there are other courses that can only, where one has to have their masters to be able to be practice in that field, such as clinical psychology, especially when we are dealing with the high levels of mental health in the country. We think that we need to be able to invest more in some of those courses. So that's one area where we are probably not satisfied. And the second one is that for the last 2 years, the president had mentioned that they would build more beds, and these beds are absolutely crucial to it because we are only able to house less than 30% of students in the sector in terms of student accommodation, and would have hoped that the minister would have spoken to this in line with the commitments that were made by the president in the last 2 years. Last year alone, the president promised that they would start a project to build about 350,000 beds, which we absolutely need. Because as things stand, even yesterday, as I'm speaking to you right now, we've had students sleeping outside. They've been sleeping at ranks. They've been sleeping at bus stations. They've been sleeping at libraries. This is exactly as I'm speaking with you right now. We're having these cases. You would have seen some of them on social media. So we desperately need an injection of funds towards the building of student accommodation on top of the postgraduate funding. And then, of course, we still have challenges of student debt and the funding of the missing middle.
Thank you very much for joining us. That's all the time we can afford today. Asive Dlanjwa speaks for the South African Union of Students. Thank you.